कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम राम। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदानेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। बोलो श्री राधे गोलोकानंद भगवान की
जय।
बोलो श्रीमद् भागवतम की
जय।
हरे कृष्णा रामानु जी।
जी हरे कृष्ण जी।
कैसे हैं आप? कैसे चल रहा है सब?
सब ठीक चल रहा है। लिटिल बिट challenges with the computer, but सब ठीक चल रहा है।
ओह, अच्छा अच्छा।
I'm not able to
कंप्यूटर कैसे चैलेंज कर रहा है? हाँ?
not able to connect to my monitor, but I'll figure it out.
ओह, अच्छा 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 अच्छा। हम्म, कोई नहीं, हाँ आराम से कर लो जैसे भी। हाँ या ठीक है, शुरू करते हैं अपन। हम्म, हाँ, क्या? तो लास्ट वीक हम लोगों ने 49th अध्याय शुरू किया, या? और 49th अध्याय में, उसके पहले वाले अध्याय में we see that कृष्ण भगवान अक्रूर जी के घर जाते हैं, एंड देन वी रेड कि कैसे अक्रूर जी भगवान कृष्ण की स्तुति करते हैं। एंड उसके बाद में भगवान कृष्ण अक्रूर जी को हस्तिनापुर जाने के लिए कहते हैं, क्योंकि हस्तिनापुर में उन्हें पता है ऑफ कोर्स कि पांडुपुत्र धृतराष्ट्र महाराज and Duryodhan, they are not behaving properly with Panduputra, and he sends Akrurji to figure out what's going on and then inform about the status in Hastinapur. So that's what we are reading. तो हस्तिनापुर में अक्रूर जी सबको मिलते हैं और इस वक्त मदर कुंती से मिल रहे होते हैं. So what we are reading right now is what Kunti Mata is saying. Yeah? And she is essentially telling that is Krishna and everyone remembering us. क्योंकि as we know, कुंती माता is कृष्ण भगवान की क्या लगती है?
उनकी बुआ है।
बुआ है, right? Because Mother Kunti is sister of Vasudev Maharaj. Yeah? She is also the daughter of Sursen. Vasudev Maharaj is son of Sursen. And so this is how Lord Krishna's direct Bua. And then she is remembering Lord Shri Krishna. And then she is, saying this. Let's start from here. Anil ji.
अच्छा, ये आपको स्क्रीन शेयर नहीं हो रहा है?
Oh, screen sharing हो रहा है. अच्छा अच्छा. वो पहले भी नहीं किया था मैंने.
नहीं।
ओह, सॉरी.
नहीं, कोई बात नहीं।
आपको आवाज आ रही थी लेकिन.
हाँ, आवाज आ रही थी।
आ जा रही।
ओह, अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. सॉरी, आई फॉरगॉट टू शेयर. एक्चुअली आई हैड टू आल्सो चेंज माय प्लेस एंड दिस.
मैं समझा कि शायद आप दूसरी जगह पे बैठे हुए हैं आज, तो मैंने सोचा।
हाँ, बिकॉज आई एक्चुअली थोड़े गेस्ट आए हुए हैं अभी घर में सब.
अच्छा।
तो आई मूव माय ऑफिस डाउन स्टेयर एक्चुअली. तो
हाँ,
अभी वहां हो गया मैं इसके लिए. बट सॉरी अच्छा बताना था आपको, मैं आई फॉरगॉट टू शेयर एक्चुअली। कोई नहीं,
नहीं,
ठीक है, अभी दिख रहा है?
ओके, या नमः, नम अब ठीक है जी। नमः
okay.
कृष्णाय शुद्धाय ब्रह्मणे परमात्मने योगेश्वराय योगाय त्वामहं शरणं गत। I offer my obeisances unto you, Krishna, the supreme pure, the absolute truth, and the super soul, the Lord of pure devotional service and the source of all knowledge. I have come to you for shelter. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And who is saying this? So, Mother Kunti is telling this to Akrūra, right? She is remembering Krishna Bhagwan, and Kunti Bhua, she is a Bhua of Lord Krishna, but she knows that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah? So even though she is Bhua of Lord Shri Krishna, she knows that Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and she is remembering and she is offering the obeisances. Hare Krishna, Shiva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Nice to see you. Yeah. So, and what she is saying is Namah Krishnaya Shuddhaya. Yeah. The Supreme Pure. Shuddha. She is addressing him as a Supreme Pure. That's Krishna. Shuddhaya. Brahmane Paramatmane. Yeah. She is Brahmane is the absolute truth and he is the super soul. Right. So we are all souls and Lord Shri Krishna Bhagavan is the super soul, and that's what Mother Kunti is offering the obeisances unto Krishna. And then she is saying that she is the Lord of pure devotional service. Yeah. Yogeshwaraya, Yogeshwar, yeah, he is the Lord of all pure devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. And then Yogaya, he is also the source of knowledge. So people who are in the Gyan Yoga, he is also the source of all knowledge. He is the God of pure devotional service. And then Mother Kunti is saying, Tvam aham sharanam gata. I have come to you for shelter. This is how Lord Mother Kunti is remembering, because they are, of course, going through tough times in Hastināpura. And Mother Kunti is telling Akrūra has been sent by Lord Shri Krishna to Hastināpura to inquire about everything which is going on. And here Mother Kunti is talking to Akrūra. Yeah. Nice purport. Let's read this again. Shiva Prabhu. Sorry, Ramanuji.
Srila Sridhara Swami has translated the word Yogaya as unto Krishna, the source of knowledge. The word yoga, I cannot see this, 1 second. The word yoga indicates connection and also the means to achieve something. As conscious souls, we have a connection with the Supreme Soul through bhakti and devotion. Through that relationship, we experience perfect knowledge of the Supreme Soul. Since the Supreme Soul is the absolute truth, perfect knowledge of Him means perfect knowledge of everything. As stated in the Mundaka Upanishad, Yasmin Vijnate Sarvam Evam Vijnatam Bhavati. When the absolute is understood, everything is understood. Thus, Krishna himself, by his spiritual potency, establishes our connections with him, and that connection is the source of all spiritual knowledge. Thus, Acharya Sridhara, by his thoughtful translation, stimulates us to deeper understanding of Krishna conscious philosophy. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and this is a very important paragraph. If you really see what is mentioned here, right? Krishna is the source of knowledge. Yeah. And Krishna is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he is absolute. Yeah. And then it's mentioned that as conscious souls, which we are, right? So we are the Sthul Sharir, then we have the Suksham Sharir, and then we have the soul. And as conscious souls, all of us, we have a connection. We have a connection with the Supreme Soul. So the souls are all connected to the Supreme Soul. And how do we realize that? that realization is through bhakti or devotion, right? That's what is mentioned. So when we are doing bhakti, when we are doing the devotion, we have seen those Navada Bhakti, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, like right now when we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, is also Bhakti. Through these means is how we are realizing, like we are talking about Lord Shri Krishna right now, right? That's how we are realizing that. And says that through that relationship, Supreme Soul and the Soul, we experience perfect knowledge of the Supreme Soul. How do we understand Lord Shri Krishna? Is through the relationship of soul to Supreme Soul is what is being mentioned, and says the soul is the Supreme Soul is the absolute truth. So perfect knowledge of him means perfect knowledge of everything. We can try to understand the atoms and stars and space and everything, but that's not the perfect knowledge. The perfect knowledge is to really understand Lord Shri Krishna, because everything comes from him. Right? Yasmin Vijnante Sarvam Ivam Vijanatam Bhavati. When the absolute is understood, everything is understood. So that's what is being mentioned by Srila Swami. Yeah? Shiva Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhuji. Shri Shukavacha Itya Nasmritya Swajanam Krishnam Cha Jagadishwaram Praruddha Dukhita Rajan Bhavatam Prati Tamahi. Translation. Sukadev Goswami said, thus meditating on her family members and also in Krishna, the Lord of the universe, your great-grandmother Kunti Devi began to cry out in grief, O King, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Sukdev Goswami ji is telling this to whom?
Parikshit Maharaj?
Parikshit Maharaj, right? That's what Srimad Bhagavatam is being done. Sukdev Goswami ji reciting this to Parikshit Maharaj. And to Parikshit Maharaj is saying that meditating on Krishna, Krishnam cha Jagad Ishwaram. Yeah? Sukdev Goswami is saying Krishna Bhagwan, who is Jagat Ishwaram, right? The Lord of the universe. After remembering him, Mother Kunti, and then he is referring to Mother Kunti as your great grandmother. Yeah? Prapita Mahi. Whose great grandmother?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Parikshit Maharaj. And how is that? How is she great grandmother of Parikshit Maharaj?
He's grandson of what's it? What?
So Arjun is the son of Kunti Devi.
Yeah.
And who is son of Arjun?
Abhimanyu.
Abhimanyu, yeah.
Right? And then and Subhadra, right? And Parikshit Maharaj is the son of that, right? That's how Kunti Devi is great grandmother of Parikshit Maharaj. So Sukdev Goswami is saying, after remembering Krishna, yeah, Praruddha Dukhita Rajan Bhavata Prapita Mehi. Yeah, Kunti Devi began to cry out in grief. Sam Dukha Sukha Akrūro Viduraksha Mahayasha Santvaya Mastastuha Kuntim Tataputro Utpati Hetubhi. Both Akrūra, who shared Queen Kunti's distress and happiness, and the illustrious Vidur, consoled the queen by reminding her of the extraordinary way her sons had taken birth. Yeah? So even though Mother Kunti was having grief, yeah, Akrūra and Vidurji was also there, and they reminded her that Tat Putro Utpati Hetu Bhi. Yeah, their origins are extraordinary, so don't worry about that. Yeah, is what they're telling to Mother Kunti. Says that Akrūra and Vidur reminded Queen Kunti that Her sons were born of heavenly gods and thus could not be vanquished like ordinary mortals. In fact, an extraordinary victory awaited this most pious family. Yeah, the Pandu family. Yeah, Anilji?
Yasyan Rajanam Nam Bhetya Visham Putra Lalasam Avdas Suhradam Madhye Bandhuvi Sohe Doditam. The ardent affection King Dhritarashtra felt for his sons had made him act unjustly toward the Pandavas. Just before leaving, Akrūra approached the king, who was seated among his friends and supporters, and related to him the message that his relatives, Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, had sent out of friendship. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? And as you all know, Dhritarashtra, yeah, says Vishwam Putra Lalasam. Yeah, we all know that पुत्रों की लालसा में he was not acting, he was not justifying his actions against Pandu Putra. And but before leaving, Akrūra went to Dhritarashtra Maharaj to give message from Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Balaram. Ramanuji? आप म्यूट पे हैं रमानुजी.
Sorry. Akrūra vacha bo bo vai chitra viryatvam kurunam kirti vardhana bhrattari uparate pandav udhunasanam astiha. Akrūra said, "O my dear son Vichitra Virya, O enhancer of the Kuru's glory, your brother Pandu, having passed away, you have now assumed the royal throne." Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, Akrūra is basically reminding Dhritarashtra Maharaj, who is the son of Vichitra Virya, that you have assumed the royal throne because Pandu has passed away. Says here, Akrūra was speaking ironically, since the young sons of Pandu should actually have been occupying the throne. Upon the death of Pandu, they were too young to immediately govern, and so were put in Dhritarashtra's care. But now sufficient time had passed, and their legitimate rights should have been recognized. Sure,
Her main Palyanarvi Prajaha Shilen Rajyan Vartamanah Samaha Sweshu Shreyaha Kirti Mavapyasi. Translation. By religiously protecting the earth, delighting your subjects with your noble character, and treating all your relatives equally, you will surely achieve success and glory. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah? This is a message from Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Balaram. And Akrūra is telling Dhritarashtra Maharaj that Vartamana Samah Svesu Sreya. If you treat everyone equally, that's when you will achieve Kirtim Vapyashasi. Then you will surely achieve success and glory. Yeah, says here, Akrūra told Dhritarashtra that even though he had usurped the throne, if he now ruled according to the principles of Dharma and behaved properly, he could be successful. Hare Krishna, Tarun.
Hare Krishna Gajendra. अन्यथा तब अचरल लोक के घर ही तो यस्य से तमः तस्मत् समत्वे वर्तस्व पांडवस्य आत्मजेषु च. Can you scroll up a little bit? If you act otherwise, However, people will condemn you in this world, and in the next life you will enter the darkness of hell. Remain equally disposed, therefore, towards Pandu's sons and your own. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, basically, Akrūra is passing on the message that you should be equal to Pandu Putra as well as yours, right? Because Dhritarashtra's whole problem was his excessive attachment to his nasty sons. That was the fatal flaw that caused his downfall. There was no lack of good advice from all sides, and Dhritarashtra even admitted that the advice was sound, but he could not follow it. One can have clear practical intelligence when the mind and heart are pure. The mind and heart both have to be pure. नेह चात्यंत संवास है कस्यचित केनचित् सह राजन् स्वेनापि देहेन किमु जायात्मजादिभिः. In this world, no one has any permanent relationship with anyone else. Okay? We cannot stay forever, even with our own body. What to speak of our wife, children, and the rest? Who is saying this? Who is speaking right now?
Akrūra is speaking.
Yeah, right? Akrūra is speaking to
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra Maharaj, right? Akrūra is giving message of Lord Shri Krishna, Lord Balaram. He is speaking to Dhritarashtra Maharaj that, hey Rajan, there is no permanent relationship in this materialistic world, right? Chatya anta samvasah says there is no perpetual association in this materialistic world. And on the top of it, what he is saying is, we cannot stay forever even with our own body. Rajan, svena api dehena, our own body. Yeah? Saying forget everything else. Yeah, forget Jaya, Atmaja, Adibhi. Forget everybody else. We cannot, Rajan Svena Api Dehena. Yeah, that's a big statement here, right? That we cannot stay forever, even with our own body. That's a truth, right? We all know this. All of us knows this. This is no philosophy. This is a fact. We cannot stay forever, even with our own body. So what to speak of our wife, children, and the rest? Yeah, Rajan Svena api dehena kimu jaya atma jadibhi is what Akrūra is telling Dhritarashtra Maharaj. Dhritarashtra Maharaj, treat everyone equally. Keep your heart and mind pure, right? That's what we read in the previous slokas. That's what Akrūra is telling Dhritarashtra Maharaj. And he's even telling him, look, there is no permanent relationship here because he has been blind in the love of his sons, and that's why he was behaving improperly with Pandus. That's a message Akrūra is giving to Dhritarashtra Maharaj. We cannot stay forever, even with our own body. So what to speak of our wife, children, and the rest is what Akrūra is telling to Dhritarashtra Maharaj. Yeah? Anilji?
एकः प्रसूयते जन्तुरेक एव प्रलीयते एको अनुभूङ्कते सुकृतमेक एव च दुष्कृतम्. Every creature is born alone and dies alone, and alone one experiences the just rewards of his good and evil deeds. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Basically, what Akrūra is telling him that, look, it doesn't matter whom you are attached to, what you are doing for everyone, etc., etc. Every creature, not just human beings, right? We know there's 8.4 million different types of creatures in this universe. Ekah prasuyate. He takes janm alone and janturek eva praliyate. Yeah, every creature is born alone and dies alone. And then what happens? Alone experiences the rewards of his good and evil deeds. That's the law of karma, right? Eko anubhukkate sukrit me evcha duskrita. Sukrit kare ya duskrit, everyone has to bear the fruits of that alone. Yeah, alone is born, alone dies, and alone have to experience the rewards and also the good and of the good and evil deeds, right? This is what is mentioned. Ramanuji?
The term Anubhukte is significant here. Bhukte means the living being experiences, and Anu means following or in sequence. In other words, we experience happiness and distress according to the moral and spiritual quality of our activities. We are responsible for what we do. Dhritarashtra was falsely and obsessively attached to the evil-minded sons, forgetting that he alone would have to suffer for his imprudent behavior. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so this is how Akrūra is passing on message to Dhritarashtra Maharaj. Yeah, Shiva Prabhu.
Adharmo pachitam vittam harantanye alpamegdhasaha sambhojaniya padeshar jalanir jalokasaha. Translation. In the guise of dear dependence, strangers steal the sinfully acquired wealth of a foolish man, just as the offspring of a fish drink up the water that sustains the fish. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. That's the example which Akrūra is giving to Dhritarashtra Maharaj. Yeah, Tarun.
Ordinary people feel they cannot live without their wealth, although their possession of it is circumstantial and temporary. Just as wealth gives life to an ordinary man, water gives life to a fish. One's dear dependents, however, steal one's wealth, just as a fish's offspring drink up the water sustaining the fish. In the words of Srila Bhakti Vinoda Thakur, this world is a weird abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prem sir, how are you?
Hare Krishna, Vijayabad.
Huh?
Pusnati yan dharmin swabuddhya tam panditam te kritarth prahin vanti prana raya sutadaya. A fool indulges in sin to maintain his life, wealth, and children and other relatives, for he thinks these things are mine. In the end, however, these very things all abandon him, leaving him frustrated. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is a general, universal fact we see. Right? A person spends the whole life, yeah, and then says Swa Buddhya Tam Panditam. But at the end, yeah, they only went on him, is what is being mentioned. It says in these verses, Akrūra is giving rather frank advice to Dhritarashtra. Those who know the story of the Mahabharata will realize how relevant and prophetic these instructions are and how much Dhritarashtra suffered for not accepting them. Although one tenaciously clings to his property, in the end all is lost and the blundering soul is swept away by the wheel of birth and death. Right? All in the cycle of birth and death. We all know that. We all know the fact. Right? And as mentioned in the previous slok, says our own body is not our own. Right? Still, we are totally attached to all this. Is what is essentially being mentioned. Swayam kil bismadaya te shakto narthako vidaya asiddharto vishatyandham swadharma vimukhistamah. Abandoned by his so-called dependents, ignorant of the actual goal of life, indifferent to his real duty, and having failed to fulfill his purposes, the foolish soul enters the blindness of hell, taking the sinful reactions with him. Yeah, is the message which Akrūra is giving to Dhritarashtra. Right? As we know, Akrūra को कृष्ण भगवान ने हस्तिनापुर भेजा है. हस्तिनापुर में अक्रूर जी कुंती मदर से मिले हैं, सबसे मिले हैं. फिर अक्रूर जी धृतराष्ट्र को मैसेज पास कर रहे हैं लॉर्ड कृष्ण भगवान और लॉर्ड बलराम का. And then he is saying The man says that ignorant of the actual goal of life, right? All of us, we are all running around. Yeah, we want to achieve something, this want to achieve something. How will we be busy? Like what will we do if we retire? Some people keep asking. We'll have nothing to do, right? Why? Because we are so ignorant of the actual goal of life. Yeah, the goal of life is not to just stay busy in doing some materialistic things and passing the time, right? And feeling some temporary happiness, which is good, right? It's good. We are in this materialistic world. We need to do all these things. But that's not the goal of life. And this is so true. Like most of us we are ignorant of the actual goal of life. What is the actual goal of life?
Loving service to Krishna.
Krishna, right? The devotional service. The goal of life is to go back to Godhead, right? To go back to Krishna's abode, Supreme Personality of Godhead. And how do we do that? Is what you are suggesting, Shiva Prabhu. Like, how do we do that? Is to do the devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. That's when the perfection of life is reached. That's when the true goal of life is reached. That's why we go this life of a human being, so that we understand that and can do this, right? But if we don't do this, what happens? And which is also a fact, it's not a philosophy, right? As we know, there's a constant cycle of birth and death, right? And says the foolish soul enters the blindness of hell, taking his sinful reactions with him. Maybe sinful, maybe good reaction, maybe pious reactions. If you have done good karmas, you get a better birth, right? But at the end of the day, we are in this cycle, is what is mentioned. Yeah. Just read this, Anilji.
It is sadly ironic that materialistic persons who labor so assiduously to accumulate insurance, security, property, and family enter the darkness of hell equipped with nothing but the painful reactions of their sins. On the other hand, those who cultivate Krishna consciousness, spiritual life, while apparently neglecting to accumulate property, a large family, and so on, enter the next life enriched with many spiritual assets and thus enjoy the deep pleasures of the soul. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, deep pleasures of the soul, the spiritual joy. Yeah. Ramanuji.
तस्मा लोकम इमाम रजन स्वप्न माया मनोरथम वीक्ष्या मैत्रा मनम समः संतो भवा प्रभो. Therefore, O King, looking upon this world as a dream, the magician's illusion, or a flight of fancy, please control your mind with intelligence and become equipoised and peaceful, my Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Again, who is saying this?
Akrūra.
Akrūra is passing on the message of Lord Shri Krishna and Lord Balaram to Dhritarashtra Maharaj and saying him and indicating him that, look, this world, think it as a dream. Swapna Maya Manoratham. It's like when we wake up in the morning, it's like what happened in the night, right? Swapna Maya Manoratham. Upon this world as a dream, Manoratham, a magician's illusion, right? Or a flight of fancy, what he is asking Dhritarashtra Maharaj to do, right? Control your mind with intelligence. Mind is man, intelligence is buddhi, right? Our Suksham Sharir, shuttle body, is made up of three things, right? What are those three things?
Mind, intelligence, and ego.
Ego, right?
False ego.
Yeah. So ahankar. So we have those three things, man, buddhi, and ahankar. Suksham Sharir is made up of that, but what is mentioned here is you control your mind, because man is the one which we don't control, right? We have no control. Our one keeps going everywhere, here and there, and all those things. What Akrūra is suggesting to even Dhritarashtra Maharaj, and remember, Dhritarashtra Maharaj was no less intelligent, Okay, he was also a great guy. He remembered everything for last 2 births. That's how smart and intelligent Dhritarashtra Maharaj was. He is advising him to control his mind with intelligence. Vikshaya Atmana Atmanam. Control your mind with intelligence. If you do that, what will happen? Become equipoised and peaceful mind over. Yeah. Samaya Shantu Saubhav Prabhu. That's a message which Akrūra is passing on to Dhritarashtra Maharaj. Sure, Prabhu?
Dhritarashtra uvacha yatha vadati kalyanim vacham danapate bhavana tatha naya na tripyami mataryaha prapya yathamritama. Translation. Dhritarashtra said, O Master of Charity, I can never be satiated while hearing your auspicious words. Indeed, I am like a mortal who has obtained the nectar of the gods. Perfect diplomat.
Dhritarashtra Maharaj is replying to Akrūra that he actually, Dhritarashtra Maharaj understands. He understands what Akrūra is telling him. And he's calling Akrūra a master of charity, Dhanapate, Bhavan. And he's saying, Kalyanim Vacham. He knows that these are the auspicious words, right? And he thinks like, hey, because of this Natripyami, like I can keep hearing those words because they are so auspicious. Yeah. It's like Yatha Amritam, Katha Amritam. Yeah. So that's what Dhritarashtra is saying. He's saying, in the opinion of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti, Dhritarashtra was in fact proud and felt he already knew everything. Akrūra was speaking, but to maintain diplomatic gravity, he spoke as saintly gentleman. Sure, bro?
मैं अभी पढ़ा लेकिन फिर पढ़ सकता हूँ.
Tarun.
Tarun.
Should I read? Tadapi Suntra Soumya Hardina Sayate Chale Putranarunga Visame Vidyut Sodaman Yatha. Even so gentle, Akrūra, because my unsteady heart is purified by affection for my sons, these pleasing words of yours cannot remain fixed there, just as lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And Dhritarashtra Maharaj is of course intelligent. He's responding to Akrūra that, look, your words are auspicious, right? Very pleasing to me, but Putra Anuraga Vishme, affection for my sons. My heart is, unsteady heart is prejudiced by affection for my sons. Thus, pleasing words of yours is not going to stay there. Basically, he's telling him that I understand what you're saying, but none of those things are going to happen. Like the lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. Yeah, his good words are there only for a reflection. That's it. Then we forget. Same thing with us, right? We hear all this. Next day morning, we forget everything. And then back to our regular chaos, right? So, same thing. A lightning cannot remain fixed in a cloud. Similarly, Dhritarashtra Maharaj is saying, nothing is going to stay there. Prem, sir?
ईश्वरस्य विधिं को नु विधुनोत्यन्यथा पुमान् भूमे भार्या रावतारय योत्तीर्णो यदो कुले. No, who can defy the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, who has now descended in the Yadu dynasty to diminish the earth's burden? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. And here he is saying that he knows that Iswarasya Vidhinko, right? He is there in the Yadu dynasty And so who is going to be able to defy the injunctions of the Supreme Lord? Everything is fixed. Right? Anilji?
Naturally, we would like to ask Dhritarashtra, if you know all this, why don't you behave properly? Of course, this is exactly Dhritarashtra's point. He feels that since events have already been set in motion, he is helpless to change them. In fact, events have been set in motion by his attachment and sinful propensities, and therefore he should have taken responsibility for his own acts. Lord Krishna clearly states in the Bhagavad Gita 5.15, Nadatte Kasyachit Papam. The Supreme Lord does not accept responsibility for anyone's sinful activities. It is a dangerous policy to claim that we are acting improperly because of destiny or fate. We should take up Krishna consciousness seriously and create an auspicious future for ourselves and our associates. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, right? What is being mentioned is don't blame everything to destiny or fate, right? It's true that a lot of things are already destined to happen, right? But then there's a lot of freedom which we have for our karmas. And that's what is being mentioned. So even though the destiny is kind of fixed, but we have a lot of responsibility for our own karmas, what we are planning to do, what we are trying to do, right? And that's why, of course, one of the suggestion is take up Krishna consciousness. That's with us, whether we want to do it or not. Yeah, is what is mentioned here. Ramanuji?
Finally, one may argue that, after all, the Dhritarashtra is involved in the Lord's pastimes and is actually his eternal associate. In answer to this, we may say that the Lord's pastimes are not only entertaining but also didactic, and the lesson here is that the Dhritarashtra should have acted properly. This is what the Lord wanted to teach. The Dhritarashtra claimed that Krishna came to relieve the burden of the earth, but the earth's burden is precisely the improper behavior of its inhabitant. So let us take the lesson of Lord wants to teach here and be instructed for our benefit. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, basically doing the good karma and bhakti is what is mentioned. Sure, Prabhu?
Yodur Vimarspatya Najma ye Yedam Shishtva Gunan Vibhajate Tad Nupravashtaha Tarmay Namo Durvabo Dhaviharatantra Samsar Chakra Gatye Parmeshwarai. Translation: I offer my obeisances to Him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who creates this universe by the inconceivable activity of His material energy and then distributes the various modes of nature by entering within the creation. From Him, the meaning of whose pastime is unfathomable, come both the entangling cycle of birth and death and the process of deliverance from it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, and this is who's saying this? Dhritarashtra, right? He's offering his obeisances to Lord Shri Krishna because he knows the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, he's saying, yeah, he is the one who creates this materialistic world. He distributes the various modes of nature. We know those modes of nature, right? How many modes of nature? What are the modes of nature?
Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun.
Right? Three modes of nature: mode of goodness, ignorance,
And passion.
and passion. Right? So, various modes of nature by entering within the creation is all done by the Lord. And he's saying that even cycle of birth and death and the process of deliverance from it. Yeah. Sansara Chakra Gatiye. The process of life and death is created by him. At the same time, how to get rid of it. Parameshwaraya. That also is provided by the Lord himself, and the process of deliverance from it is provided by. Saying that when all is said and done, Dhritarashtra was not an ordinary person, but an associate of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Certainly an ordinary person could not offer such a learned hymn to the Lord. Yeah. Karun?
Shri Shukvacha iti abhipreta narpratar abhipranayam sa yadhavah subradhibhihi samanujjanata punar yadu purim agat. Sukhdev Goswami said, having thus apprised himself of the king's attitude, Akrūra, the descendant of Yadu, took permission from his well-wishing relatives and friends and returned to the capital of the Yadavas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. And so after that, Akrūrji goes back to capital of the Yadav. Which capital is that?
Mathura.
Mathura, right? So Akrūrji then comes back to Mathura. Yeah. Correct?
Shashansa Ram Krishna Bhyam Dhritarashtra Vichitam Panduvan Prati Kaurvya Yatharth Preshita Swayam. Akrūra reported to Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna how Dhritarashtra was behaving towards the Pandavas. Thus, O descendant of the Kurus, he fulfilled the purpose for which he had been sent. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, this is what Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj, that Akrūra goes back to Mathura. He informs Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna about what's happening there in Hastināpura, and he's addressing all descendant of the Kurus, right? That the Kurus dynasty, talking to Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah, Akrūrji, of course, fulfills his purpose of the visit and says, thus ends the purpose of the humble servants of his divine grace, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 10th canto, 49th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Akrūra's Mission in Hastināpura. Yeah. So, follow Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Yeah. So, we completed 49th chapter, and we will start the 50th chapter, the 50th adhyaya of 10th canto. Krishna establishes the city of Dwarka. Yeah. So, we'll read about why Lord Shri Krishna establishes city of Dwarka. Yeah. So, I started text 1. Sri Shukvacha Astih Praptiksha Kansasya Mahishyo Bharat Sharbha Mrite Bhartari Dukkharte Yatuhashma Pitur Grihan. Sukdev Goswami said, when Kans was killed, O heroic descendant of Bharat, his two queens, Asti and Prapti, went to their father's house in great distress. Yeah? So two wives of Kans, Asti and Prapti, went to their father's house in great distress. Do you know who their father was?
Jarasandha.
Satsang, yeah? So, Anilji?
पित्रे मगध राज्याय जरासंधाय दुःखिते वेदयाम चक्रुतः सर्व मात्म वैधव्य कारणम. The sorrowful queens told their father, King Jarasandha of Magad, all about how they had become widows. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Ramanuji?
Satat apriyam akarnya marsa yuto napa ayadvim mahim kartum chakre paramam udyayam. Hearing this odious news, O Krishna, Jarasanada was killed with sorrow and anger, and he began the greatest possible endeavor to rid the earth of the Yadavas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, so Jarasandha, of course, was a father. He got filled with sorrow and anger, and then he decided to fight with Yadavs. Yeah. Shiva Prabhu.
Ashohini bhirvishatya tishri vishchapi samvritaha yadu rajdhanim mathuram nayarudhat sarvato desham. Translation. With a force of 23 Akshohini divisions, he laid siege to the Yadu capital, Mathura, on all sides. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. The Jarasandha, the numbers involved in an Akshohini division are given in the word meanings, and Akshohini was a standard fighting force in ancient time. But the Jarasandha finally attacks Mathura. Tarun?
Nirikshya tad balam Krishna udvelam iva sagaram swapuram tena samruddham swajjanam cha bhayakulam chintaya masa bhagwanam harim karna manushaha dadeshakala nurgunam swavatara prayojanam. Although Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is the original cause of this world, when he descended to the earth, he played the role of a human being. Thus, when he saw Jarasandha's assembled army surrounding his city like a great ocean overflowing its shores, and when he saw how this army was striking fear into his subjects, the Lord considered what his suitable response should be according to the time, place, and specific purpose of his current incarnation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So even though he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is the original cause of the world, he decided to act like a human being, is what is mentioned. Prem?
The Acharyas point out that the Supreme Godhead did not have to worry about a mortal attack from Jarasandha and his soldiers. But as stated here, Sri Krishna was playing the part of a human being, Karana Manusha, and he played the part well. This play is called Leela, the Lord's enactment of spiritual pastimes for the pleasure of his devotees. Although ordinary persons may be dumbfounded by the Lord's pastimes, the devotees derive tremendous pleasure from his inimitable style of behavior. Thus, Sridhar Swami points out that Sri Krishna thought as follows: how should I defeat Jarasandha? Should I kill the army but not Jarasandha? Or should I kill Jarasandha and take the army for myself? Or perhaps I should just kill both of them. Lord Krishna's conclusion is described in the following verses. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hanishyami balam rote adabhuvi bharam samahitam magadhena samanitam vashyanam sarvam bhuju bhujam akshohini bhiya sankhyatam bhatakshararat kunjare magadhastuna hantavyo bhuya karta varodhadam dhamam. The Supreme Lord thought, since it's such a burden on the earth, I will destroy Jarasandha's army, consisting of Akshohinis, of foot soldiers, horses, chariots, and elephants, which the king of Magad has assembled from all subservient kings and brought together here. But Jarasandha himself should not be killed, since in the future he will certainly assemble another army. Yeah. So this is how Lord Shri Krishna is thinking. Says here, after due consideration, Lord Krishna decided that since he had descended to the earth to destroy the demons, and since Jarasandha was so enthusiastic to bring all the demons to the Lord's front door, it was definitely more efficient to keep Jarasandha alive and busy. Right? So what is being described is how Jarasandha comes and then how Lord Shri Krishna is going to create Dwarka is what we are going to read. We'll pause here since it's time. Yeah. But very nice reading of how Akrūra's message to Duryodhana, right? So we are going to hear a nice kirtan, just 5 to 6 minutes. Yeah? We share the screen. All right. So nice kirtan. Yeah. And we'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Yeah.
Hey, Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.